And now it's time for the Duchess Radio Theatre, starring Makoto Kurio, Dulcie Rogers, Katie Fairbairn and Indiana Martin, along with Arthur Price, Toby Graham, Tyler Kelly, Sam Thornbury, Louis Maskell, Penelope Leach, Catherine English-Jones, Keir Molnar-Brown and myself, Imogen Bush, in It's a Wonderful Life. This is a story of George Bailey, an ordinary man who lives in Bedford Falls, New York. But George Bailey, more than anything, wanted to see the world, the exciting world that lay somewhere beyond his hometown. George had big dreams, but also big responsibilities. Of course, sometimes the two don't exactly fit together. Sometimes happiness is not over the rainbow, but right under your nose. However, our story doesn't begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in this world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels is briefing an apprentice angel named Clara.
Clara, odd-body angel, second class, reporting for duty, Your Honor.
What? They sent me an angel? Second class? You mean you haven't earned your wings yet?
No, not yet. But I'm hoping this mission will do the trick. Are you really sending me down to Earth? Gosh, I haven't been to Earth since last time I got...
You see, there's a man in trouble down there.
Good.
No, bad, Clara. At precisely 10:45 p.m. Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking about ending his life.
Oh my! Ending his life? Well, I know that's bad.
Good, Clara. I'm glad you understand. So, you must stop him if you can. Now, let me brief you about George Bailey's case history. You see, when George was a boy...
Oh, that's okay, Your Honor. All I need is a plan.
Plan?
You see, Your Honor, I'm reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Mark Twain.
Yes, I'm familiar with the book.
Well, Tom Sawyer always has a plan.
I see. Well, if you can help George Bailey with your plan, Clara, you may just get your wings. Say, how long have you been waiting for your wings?
Over 200 years.
200 years? Well, George Bailey's going to need a miracle.
Yes! Thank you for your confidence in me, boss. I'll leave immediately.
Wait! Clara. Plan or no plan? First, some background. Now, when George Bailey was a boy, he and his friends snuck onto old Potter's property and were sliding over a frozen pond on a shovel. But George's younger brother, Harry, fell through the ice.
And George jumped in to save Harry?
Yes, but as a result, George has a bad ear.
Sure, the icy water infection. I get it.
Now look, Clara. A few months later, young George was working after school at Gower's drugstore. But on this day, Mr. Gower received a telegram informing him that his only son had just died of influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower was trying to drown his sorrows in whiskey when the...
Gower's drugs? Mrs. Blaine? What? Well, George should have delivered the medicine by now. Wait. Here he comes. I'll send it right over. Goodbye. George! Did you deliver that prescription?
Well, no, Mr. Gower.
Why didn't you deliver that right away? The little blind girl's sick. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower. Here it is.
Here? Why you?
Ow! Mr. Gower, my ear!
You good for nothing? Lazy loafer!
Ow! You're hurting my sore ear.
What are you trying to do? Ruin me?
Ow! No, Mr. Gower, you put something wrong in those pills.
Shut up, you little...
Look, I know you're sad. You're upset about your son dying. You've been drinking. But you put something wrong in those capsules. I didn't know what to do.
Huh? The capsules?
Look at them, Mr. Gower. You took a powder from this bottle. It's poison.
Poison? Poison? Oh my God.
Don't hurt my sore ear again, please.
Poison? Oh, George. George.
That's why I didn't deliver the medicine, Mr. Gower. I wanted to ask my pop first to make sure, but he was busy. He couldn't.
George, forgive me, George.
I won't ever tell a soul, Mr. Gower. I won't ever tell anyone. Hope to die.
George.
Little Mary Hutch was at the soda fountain that day. She heard it all, but she, too, never told a soul.
My, George sure took a beating, but he did the right thing.
Well, George grew up and he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't enough money. So he worked 4 years at the Bailey Building and Loan Association.
Building and loan?
Yes, George's father was in the building and loan business. He and George's Uncle Billy. But it was a case of high ideals and low bank account.
Those two always seem to go together.
Yes. Anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough to pay for college. But first he was going to summer in Europe, working his way across on a cattle boat. Full of wanderlust, George wanted to do a little travelling before college.
You know, Pop, as good as Ma's apple pie is, and it's peachy for an apple pie, I've had enough. Oh, gee, it's hard to believe this is my last night at the old Bailey boarding house.
We're all gonna miss you, George.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Pop, and you, Mother, and everyone in Bedford Falls.
You've certainly earned your chance, son.
Oh, and I'm gonna take it. But hey, what's the matter, Pop? You look kinda tired.
I don't know. I had another run-in with Henry Potter today.
Mr. Potter? Oh, that old money-grubbing buzzard. I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us a little.
So did I. He may be the richest man in town, but he...
The most miserable. And if you ask me, I don't understand somebody like Mr. Potter. I mean, he can't begin to spend all the money he has.
Well, Potter has spent his life in that wheelchair. He's frustrated. Think about it, George. If you were...
But Potter owns about everything he wants in town. Everything except the Bailey Building and Loan.
Maybe. That's why he hates us. To him, we're just a bunch of foolish...
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for tonight's dance?
Sure, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? Here? In your suitcase?
Harry, George won't be needing a tuxedo on a cattle boat.
You never know. Say, where'd you get that beat-up old suitcase anyway, George?
At the Emporium, Harry. Mr. Gower bought it for
A
me.
going-away present?
Yep, far away. You see, one of these days, that bag will be plastered with exotic travel stickers. You know, like Rome, Athens, Baghdad, Samarkand.
I guess you're gonna have a pretty full summer, George.
Oh, I'm gonna have a pretty full life.
So, why didn't you come to the dance tonight?
Your graduation dance? Nah, I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but what a wonderful death.
There'll be lots of pretty girls, son.
And we're using that new gym floor tonight.
That was a brilliant idea of yours, George. Putting the pool under the gym saved the high school thousands.
Well, Pop, that's just the start for me. You wait. Oh, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna see.
Like the tuxedo cufflinks?
Oh, try upstairs. Harry, my top drawer.
Okay, yikes. I gotta hurry. Bye.
Was I like that when I graduated from high school, Pop?
Pretty much. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, but Harry and I've got that all figured out. He'll take over my job at the building and loan, work and save for 4 years, like I did. Then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
He's no younger than I was.
You were just born old, George.
How's that, Pop? You know, my trick ear?
I said you were born old.
Well then, that's why I've got to hurry now. There's a whole world out there waiting for me to conquer it.
George, when you get out of college, you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
What? Coming back? Oh no, Pop. I just couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office with all those.
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that. But it's just this business and nickels and dimes.
I know. Spending your life trying to figure how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe. I understand, son.
Do you, Pop? Staying here, I just go crazy. You see, I want to do something big, something important.
But, in a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people buy their own homes. We help their dreams come true.
I know, Pop, but most of my friends have already finished college. I feel if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
I guess you're right.
You know what I mean, don't you?
I know that this town's no place for anybody. Unless you crawl to Mr. Potter.
That's not for me, Pop. Not that kind of life.
Yeah, you've got talent, George. A gift. So travel. Get yourself that education. Then do what you want, son.
You know, Pop, ready for a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thank you, George. Look, why don't you go on over to Harry's dance? See that new gym floor over the pool? You'll have fun.
Well, it is my last night in Bedford Falls. I guess I could drop in, inspect the retracting floor, say goodbye to friends, and maybe dance a bit. Maybe I will at that. See you later.
So, George Bailey went to a dance. Is that important, boss?
Why, it was at that dance that he fell in the pool with Mary Hatch. And most of the rest of the graduating class of 1928.
So, George and Mary went overboard at the dance.
Later, he was walking her home. They were feeling pretty good, Clara. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo girls, can't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo girls, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Hot dog, eh, Mary?
We sound beautiful, George.
Well, we don't look beautiful. You should have seen me scramble to get these dry clothes out of the locker room.
I didn't know you were the football type.
I didn't know you were the royal robe type.
Didn't you now? My train, sir.
Your caboose, m'lady. Hey, you know something, Mary? I'd almost say you were the prettiest girl in town. You look wonderful.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. But what happened to you anyway? How'd you get so, grown up?
I'm gaining on you, George. Maybe we'll be in the same class at college.
Same class? Hey, how old are you anyway?
18.
18? Why, it seems only last year you were just 17.
What? Am I too young or too old?
No, you're exactly right. Your age sorta fits you. I'm just saying, you look a little older dressed like that.
What?
I mean, dressed like that? No, I mean,
What do you mean, George?
hey, look where we are.
The old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock, bust the window.
Oh no, George. Even though it's deserted, I love this old place. It's full of romance.
Romance? Nah, with deserted houses, you make a wish and then try to bust the window.
But it's such a lovely old house. I want to live there someday.
In there? Go on, I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch. That window on the second floor. Watch this. Here we go. How about that, huh? Pretty good shot, eh? Broke that window.
What you wish for, George?
Wish? Oh, I don't know. Not just one wish, Mary. A whole hat full of them. You see, I'm leaving this crummy little town. I want to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum, and that's just this summer.
That's a good start, George.
Yeah, and then I'm coming back and going to college just to see what they know, of course.
Of course.
And then I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and bridges a mile long. And then I'm gonna, what you doing there, Mary? Hey, you're a pretty good shot yourself. So, what's your wish anyway?
Buffalo girls, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Oh, come on, Mary. What is it you want? Do you want the moon? I mean, all you gotta do is say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and...
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Well, then you swallow it. And it dissolves, and moonbeams shoot out of your fingers and the ends of your hair, and then, do you think I'm talking too much?
Yes, why don't you kiss her?
How's that? Say what?
I said, why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Oh, kiss her, huh?
Our youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Well, hey, just a minute. Hey, you, come on back here. I'll show you some kissing that'll... Oh, wait, Mary, don't run off. I'm just funning with... Oh, Mary, yeah.
Over here, in the hydrangeas.
In the hydrangeas?
Toss me my rope, George.
Toss you your rope. Oh, sure, I'll just toss you... Now, wait a minute.
George Bailey!
George!
Hey, Uncle Billy, look here. I'm gonna kiss Mary. Watch.
George! Get in the car! Quick! It's your father!
My father?
He's had a stroke!
What? My father's had a...
Come on, George! Get in! Hurry!
Here, Mary, I gotta go.
Well, George's father died that night, Clara, and George didn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
A meeting?
They had to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
These are good, sound loans, and...
Enough discussion, gentlemen. All those in favor of approving these last loans made by our deceased president, say aye.
Aye!
All opposed?
No!
Mr. Potter's dissent is noted, but the motion carries. The loans are approved. Thank you, George. That's all we need you for. I know you've got that train to catch.
Yes, is Ernie's taxi out there, Uncle Billy?
Yes! A taxi is waiting to take George to the train. And college. Hurry, George!
I'd like the board to know that George here gave up his trip to Europe to oversee things these past few months. Good luck to you at college, George.
Thank you. So long, gentlemen.
Now, proceeding with our agenda, we come to the real purpose of this meeting. We must...
No! Mr. Chairman! Mr. Chairman!
Mr. Potter.
I've waited long enough. I want to get to my real purpose, the dissolution of this... I said I've waited long enough. Now, this institution isn't needed in this town. It competes with the bank and is in general nuisance to the sound business practices. Therefore...
That is your opinion, Mr. Potter.
It's not opinion, it is fact. Now that Peter Bailey is dead, I move that we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to a receiver.
No, wait a minute, Potter.
No, you wait a minute. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. He was a man of high ideals, so-called. But ideals without common sense can ruin this town.
Ruin?
Of course! It isn't fair to the little people to encourage them to live beyond their means, like this Ernie Bishop, the taxi driver. I happen to know he was turned down for a home loan by the bank, but here...
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Potter. I handled Ernie Bishop's loan. You got the papers in front of you. His income, insurance, his collateral, and I can personally vouch for his character.
Ah, a friend of yours, George. You see, gentlemen, if you shoot pool with an employee here, you can borrow money. And what's that getting us? A disconnected, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. All because starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stirred them up and put impossible ideas into their heads. Now, who'll second my motion to dissolve?
Hold on, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I mean no disrespect, George, but your father...
Now, wait a minute. Why my father ever started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter. That rabble you're talking about, well, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community.
So?
Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms with a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, Mr. Potter, my father died a richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building and loan.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy hands on, and it's galling you, and that's what you're talking about. Well, I've said too much. I have to leave.
That's okay, George. Come on.
That's quite enough, actually.
I apologize, gentlemen. Well, you're the board. You can do what you want, but let me just say that this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without crawling to Mr. Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy. Let's get out.
So, what happened, George?
Yeah, all Tilly and I heard was a lot of yelling.
You wouldn't believe it, Eustace. Boy, oh boy, you should have heard, George.
Oh, yeah? Right now, they're voting us out of business.
Well, after 25 years, easy come, easy go. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen to us now.
And your mother, George, poor thing.
And no job for Harry.
But I don't care, George, because it was worth it. It was worth it to see you shut Potter's big mouth.
Yeah, who cares? I can get another job. I'm only 51.
56.
Will you get out of here, George? You already missed your boat trip to Europe. Do you want to miss college, too? Ernie's waiting down.
George, they've just voted Potter down.
Whoopee! We're still in business.
What a relief, Tilly.
There goes my new career, Eustace.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? No, Uncle Billy's your man.
Sure, you can keep him on. You can hire anyone you like.
No, wait, Dr. Campbell, get this straight now. Don't you people realize I got plans? I'm leaving for college right now.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so.
Wait, do you mean that without George here, Potter will be able to persuade them to dissolve the whole company?
Wait, boss. Don't tell me. George Bailey didn't make it to college.
No, he didn't, Clara. George gave his college money to his brother Harry. Harry went instead.
But what about the girl? The cute one stuck in the hydrangea bush. You know, Mary?
George saw her now and again, but Mary also went away to college. And George worked 4 more years at the building and loan, waiting for Harry to finish school, come back and take over. George still hoped to see the world, though. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela. Except, when Harry came back, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his wife.
George, is that you, dear?
Oh, yes, Mother. I just thought I'd get some air.
So, how'd you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? Oh, she's swell. Harry got all the luck.
She'll keep him on his toes.
Well, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
Now, Ruth's father has a good job for Harry. Up in Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. And that means...
Oh, then you can't...
Yep, again.
I'm sorry, George.
Yeah.
Well, did you know, Mary Hatch is back from college too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's been back 3 whole days.
Hmm.
Nice girl, that Mary.
I suppose.
Oh, stop moping, George Bailey. It's not like you.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mother?
Give me one reason why you shouldn't go see Mary.
Well, how about Sam Wainwright, for one?
Sam Wainwright? Hee-haw.
Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
How do you know that? Was it in the newspaper? What, did I miss it?
Mary's got her eye on you, George. She lights up like a firefly whenever she's around you.
Oh, Firefly.
You don't want her to be an old maid, do you? Plus, Sam Wainwright is in New York.
Oh, is he now? So, all's fair in love and war, is that it?
Don't be difficult. The right girl can help you find the answers, George.
Okay, Mother. Trying to get rid of me, eh? Well, I think I'll go find the girl and do some passionate necking. Urgh.
Oh, George!
Night, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you need any books from the library?
Library? George, you go see Mary. Do you hear?
Hiya, George. You need a lift?
Oh, no, Ernie. I wouldn't want to rob you of a fare.
You wouldn't be robbing me of any fares, George. The taxi business is on its skids.
Well, then, it's just like the building and loan business. Want to swap?
Actually, George, I need to talk to you. I'm gonna have to turn the deed back over to you.
Deed? What, the deed to your house? You've only been there 2 years,
Yeah,
Ernie.
but with the business being so bad, I can't make the payments right now. Me and the missus will have to move it back in with her folks.
Oh, Ernie, no, I'll tell you what. Can you just pay back the interest?
The interest? Well, sure, I can do that.
Okay, so keep the house. Forget the principal. For a while, you're just hitting the rough patch, that's all.
Gosh, George, I don't know how to thank you. This means so.
Taxi! Hear that? You're back in business, Ernie.
I am? I am. Coming right up.
Attaboy, Ernie!
Hey, going somewhere, Georgie Porgy?
Oh, hello, Violet. Hi, fellas. Gosh, you look great, Vi.
In this old thing? Oh, I only wear this when I don't care how I look. Right, guys? Excuse me, fellas. I think I got a date. So, Georgie, what's going on? Where you heading?
Oh, I was just going down to the library, I suppose.
Come on, Georgie. Don't you ever get tired of just reading about stuff?
Well, come to think of it, yes. Okay, what are you doing tonight, Violet?
Me? Not a thing.
Okay, well, if you're game, Vi, we can make a night of it. I gotta talk to somebody. What do you say?
Sure, George. It's about time. What'll we do?
What'll we do? Well, we'll go out to the fields, yeah. Take off our shoes and walk through the grass.
The field?
Yeah, then we can go up to the Bedford Falls. You gotta see them in the moonlight. There's a green pool up there, Vi. We can swim in it.
Swim?
Sure, and then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise on the peaks. Come with me. We'll stay up there the whole night and be the talk of the town, and there'll be a terrific scandal. How about it, Vi?
George Bailey, have you lost your mind? Walk through the grass in my bare feet. It must be 10 miles to the falls, and this is the only thing I have to wear. You expect me to go swimming in this?
Shh, Violet, shh. Okay.
What's with you, George? For a guy who wanted to sail around the world, you don't seem to have been around the block. I mean, come on.
Fine. Just forget the whole thing. Forget it.
George, what are you doing out there?
Nothing? Oh, is that you, Mary?
I think so. Well...
Well, what? Oh, me. I was just passing by.
Yes, several times. I wonder if you were picketing or haunting me.
Now, why would I be...
But your mother phoned saying you were coming over?
My mother phoned? Oh, the nerve. Well, I just happened to be passing by. That's all. I didn't have any firm
So,
kinda...
are you coming in or aren't you?
Well, all right, if you insist, I'll come in. For a minute. But I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Right, you're your own man.
So when did you get back?
Tuesday.
When did you get that dress?
New York. Do you like it?
Well, it's all right, I guess. I thought you'd take up in New York, like Sam and the rest.
Oh, I worked there on a few vacations, but I don't know. I got homesick.
Homesick? What, you got homesick for Bedford Falls?
Well, it is home after all. No point just standing here on the porch. Come on in.
I don't understand this. I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here.
So you're leaving?
No, I wouldn't want to be rude. I'll stay a while since I'm here.
So, it's nice about your brother and his new wife, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth, it's okay.
What's the matter? You don't like her?
Well, of course I do. Ruth's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're down on, huh?
No, marriage is all right for some people. I mean, it's fine for Harry, for Sam Wainwright, and you.
For Sam?
Mary, who's down there?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. Not a thing. I was just passing by.
Coward. He's just kissing me passionately, Mother.
He is? You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright said he'd call tonight from New York.
I guess so, Mother. So, George, how about a little music here?
You know, your mother shouldn't... Oh, that. Now, I didn't come over here just to...
Well, what did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be the girl with all the answers. How about you tell me why?
Oh, why don't you go home?
Okay, maybe I will go home.
Mary, the telephone!
Sheesh, I still don't know why I even came here.
Mary!
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, the phone!
You know, with all this shouting, you'd think that maybe somebody could...
Mary, maybe it's Sam. Answer it.
You think what, George?
Mary, get the phone!
All right already. I'll get it, Mother. George, on your way out, could you turn off the phonogram?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Doggone crazy song. Oh, let me out of here.
Hello? Hatch Residence? Oh, Sam.
Hey, Mary. So good to hear your voice.
Is it?
Excuse me, Mary. Seems I forgot my hat.
Oh, Sam, how nice of you to call. All the way from New York. Hee-haw.
What, Mary? Oh, yeah. Hee-haw.
You know, Sam, an old friend of yours is here. George Bailey.
What? Old Mossback George? In person?
Yep, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw. Well, put old George on. I want to say hi.
Wait a minute, Sam. George?
Mary, you idiot. Sam doesn't want to talk to George.
He does too. He even asked for George.
What is it, Mary? You see, I'm kind of in a hurry. I gotta get down.
Wait, it's Sam Wainwright. He wants to talk.
Sam Wainwright? Oh.
Sam, here's George.
Hi, Sam. Hee-haw.
Hee-haw? Somehow you are. What are you trying to do there? Trying to steal my girl?
Steal your girl? Hey, nobody's trying to steal any girl. Mary, Sam again.
No, wait a minute, George. Wait. I want to speak to the both of you. Put Mary on the extension upstairs.
He wants you to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
George, just put your head a little closer. We can both hear.
Both? Okay.
There, all right. Sam, we're both on the line.
Good. Now, I have a plan that's going to make us all rich. George, remember one time in Martini's Tavern, you told me about making plastics out of, chili beans?
Chili beans?
Soybeans. I mean soybeans.
Oh, yeah, soybeans, okay.
Well, my father's investing in it, George. We're going to open a factory outside Rochester. What do you think of that?
Rochester? A factory? Wait, why don't you put it here, in Bedford Falls? The old tool machinery works closed down. You could get that building for a song. Plus, there's lots of labor here, too.
Now you're talking, George. But here's the point. Mary, you listen to this, too. If you've got any money, put every dime into our stock.
Stock?
Come on, George. We might even have a job for you. That is, if you're not still married to that broken-down old building alone. Here's your chance to get it on the ground floor.
Ground floor? That's wonderful.
We'll have to see, Sam.
Mary, are you still listening?
Yes, Sam, I'm here.
Tell George this is the chance of a lifetime, you hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me the phone.
Here's George again. George!
Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, any job, any ground floors, and I don't want to get married. Ever. To anyone. You understand me?
Oh, George.
I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me into any...
George.
Mary. Oh, Mary, I
know.
So, George and Mary got, what do they say? Hitched?
Yes, Clara. They were married that October.
I always cry in October.
And the two headed off for their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
Here you go, newlyweds. Bert the cop sent this bottle of bubbly, but don't tell anyone. Prohibition and all that.
Mum's the word, Ernie.
So, where are you two heading on this deluxe honeymoon?
see this fat wad of cash? Count it, Mary. It's our kitty.
So,
we're shooting the works, Ernie. A week in New York, a week in Bermuda. It'll be the highest hotels, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
congratulations, George. You're finally getting out of Bedford Falls. Then what?
Gee, I don't know. Then what, dear?
The moon. Who cares?
That's right. Hey, you know what, Mrs. Bailey? I haven't kissed you nearly enough.
Well then, come here, you.
Hey, slow down, lovebirds. Hey, any fond farewells, George? Here's Genesee Street.
So long, Bedford Falls. So long, old building and loan. So long, Uncle Billy and Mr. Potter and everyone else. We're sneaking out and we won't be coming back ever.
Hey, George, there's something going on here. Look at the crowd over there in front of the bank. Looks like the door's locked.
What? Pull over, Annie.
What is it, George?
Hey, George, that's what you call a bank run.
A bank run?
Yeah, if you've got any money in the bank, you better pull it out and hurry.
Oh, George, no. Let's not stop. Please, Ernie, just go straight to the train station. George!
Wait a minute, honey. I gotta see what this is. I'll be back in a second.
No, George, please. George, don't go. Ernie, stop him.
Tune in next time for the second episode of It's a Wonderful Life.